So, wanted to do a day in the life as a real estate investor, part-time homeschool mom at this season of my life. So, I hadn't done one of these since probably the beginning of my YouTube channel. So, come along with me today.
The location, you said
Oh, when is it?
next Wednesday.
I will be on vacation. You gotta tell Dad.
I'm just saying, how would I send? I know I can get there. How would I send that?
Invoice? You can send through Square. Don't you have Square?
I'm finna send it through PayPal.
Okay.
But like, how much?
How much are you charging?
I just take my password.
How much did y'all agree on the price?
I'm finna. I gotta send an invoice.
So you scheduled an appointment but didn't agree on the price?
No, I said.
With the invoice, you should put the total amount and then just go ahead and require a deposit now so that they know what the total amount is. So we are finally on the road. We are running a little behind, but it's okay. We're gonna get there. Atlanta's weather is crazy. Yesterday it was like 80 degrees, and today I woke up and it is raining and 60. So yeah, I'm actually working from home most of the time, most days, either at home or on vacation in this season of my life. That is typically where I am. But today is a fun day. This is why I wanted to vlog today, because today is a different day. I'm actually going to be doing a property walkthrough with my husband and a builder / contractor. So yeah, thought it would be good to bring you guys along that journey today. So here's something interesting. I just left the gas station, and I typically hate pumping gas. Anybody else hate pumping gas? I hate pumping gas. There are a couple things that I just don't do. There are a couple things that I'm just not gonna empty the trash. Like, why do I need to empty the trash when all y'all men are around here? You know, I'm not gonna. It's crazy. I have a landscaping company. I've never mowed a yard. It would probably be actually pretty relaxing, but why would I mow a yard? And so pumping gas is similar. Like, I hate pumping gas. It's just very like nasty to me. I don't like touching stuff that everybody in the world touches. And so I prefer to not pump gas. So when I pump gas, which is not often at all, because I purposely allow like the gas to get low when someone else is in the car, and then I have them pump it. But like today when I pumped it, like literally like driving up, I was like, oh, I don't really want to touch this pump. I don't know if anybody else is like that. It's weird. Anyways, we used to live 5 minutes from everything when we were in the city. And so we lived in the city of Atlanta for 14, 15 years. And we were 5 to 10 minutes from everything. It's crazy. And now we moved to Metro Atlanta, and it takes me an hour without traffic to get there. So I'm just in this season where I need to go to Atlanta more. I have friends there. I have associates that I want to continue to build relationships with. My office is in Atlanta. I have events that goes on in my office and stuff like that. And so I'm trying to do better about going more often. I'm really trying to do better. Like, I'm starting small. with at least trying to go once a month. Can we go once a month? And then maybe we'll add twice a month. And then we'll maybe add once a week. Last year, I probably went like once a week. A part of my mastermind, my clients I work with one-on-one, I do what we call a private VIP day section where I work with them for 5 hours to help them plan out their real estate, investing portfolio. And it's just super hands-on. I'm creating their plan with them, working through things, answering questions, helping them get clarity, all those things. And so last year, the way my program was structured, I was doing that like every Friday of the month, like most months. But this year it's structured a little bit different. I still do them, but I just don't have to do them as often. So that takes me away from coming to the city. So yeah, I'm trying to get back into a routine of just being more social. And I just feel like in general, I am slowly becoming an introvert / ambivert. I just like being at home in my own space. I just do in this season. I don't know. It's just a lot. Being a wife, being a mom, being multi-business owner, and working with your spouse and family, and managing teenagers and everything that comes with that, the emotional weight of that, trying to be present for them. That's just all a lot right now for me. It is just all a lot. So I'll just be at home. I'll be at home just living my old nice and dandy life. So I'm trying to do better, y'all. I'm trying to get better. So let's talk about what we're doing today. So we have this property that we've owned for quite a while now. It was one of our first few investment properties. And this one is special to me, but not in a good way. This is the only property that we bought that we didn't do a full renovation on. When we bought the property, it had already had some renovation done on it, and it was like a partial renovation. And we were like, oh, wow, we were just in high growth mode. Let's buy properties, like trying to buy them as often as possible, trying to find deals, trying to buy in, strategic areas that I knew that was going to be appreciating in value. Came across this property. It was a decent deal for the time, whatever. And, the person sold it. I don't remember if it was on the market. I don't remember all those details, but the person sold it as it only needs this left. It only has this amount of stuff left. Anytime you hear that from an investor, that it only needs then you should question, then why don't you do it then? If it only needs why don't you do it then? Okay, we didn't do that. We were new. I did not have a mentor. We were just out here, y'all. And so this is the only property that we bought that property that got problems, got issues, and you kind of don't sleep that good at night. This is that one, right? So we bought it. We did some minor, whatever they said was left, but later discovered that there was way more problems with the property that long-term would need to be taken care of. But we've had it rented out, over the years. We did that for quite a few years. And then most recently, it was a Section 8 rental for the last 2 years. And just recently, it's just a lot of different things. Like the Section 8 tenant stopped paying their portion of the rent. We did an inspection. We found out that she had a lot of people living in the house that were not supposed to be living in the house. This house is already, I told you guys, had some things that needed to be taken care of. And it's a small house. So to have 7 to 8 people and 2 dogs in this fragile house it's just going to be a mess. And that's exactly what happened. We discovered through doing a walkthrough that they were basically tearing up the house. There were a lot of things that were just falling apart that needed to be done, but that because she had so many people in the house, it was like difficult to really do a thorough renovation. So we reported her to the housing authority to say that she was violating her lease. The housing authority did not do anything. They basically put it back on us and was like, oh, okay, well, she violated her lease. Her lease is with you. If you want to do something about it, you can evict her. But then, in the same breath, y'all, they performed their own inspection, which is what they do on an annual basis, what they should do. And they were like, all these things are wrong on the house. If you don't fix these things within X amount of days, we're not going to pay you. And we're like, we want to fix those things. We tried. It's so many people there all the time. They like, how will we fix it? We told you that. And they were like, I don't know. But if it's not fixed, I'm going to take your money. And so then they stopped paying us. And then luckily, though, we had already started the eviction process because her voucher began to decrease and her portion that she needed to pay began increasing, and we just seen what was coming down the road. So we had already filed an eviction. So by the time they stopped paying, it was maybe like, I probably would say it's like 2 months of not being paid before we were able to successfully evict her. And then we kept telling her, girl, like, I actually personally, I don't go and talk to tenants. That is not my role. Like, I don't do that. Like, it's like 2 to 3 layers of people between me and tenants before I get involved. So if I'm involved talking to a tenant, you know it's bad. And so I was just like, girl, you about to fumble the bag. Like, not only you have all these people living up in your house taking advantage of you, essentially, you about to lose your voucher. Like, I told her that, like, I'm gonna need you to make some, oh, they just visiting. They've been visiting for 6 months? No. And anyways, and we kept telling her, we have the eviction, we're about to evict, like trying to give her a heads up, be able to find a place to stay, We pull up. I wasn't there, I was out of town, but my husband pulls up. Maybe I can add some B-roll here. And they're shocked. She's shocked. Nobody in the house knows. All 8 people and 2 dogs don't know that they're being evicted. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. And you know what? It was for the best. It was for the best. I don't ever want someone I never want to, be able to put someone on the street. A big part of the passion of why I do what I do is to be able to provide quality housing, to not be a slumlord, to be able to help my community. A lot of my tenants are single moms, so like that is a passion of mine, and are black, and that's a passion of mine. But this property, it was in such bad shape. It was for the best. Like, they needed to move, and we needed to do something else with it. So that was for the best. So now what we're doing is trying to figure out. So now what we're doing today is we're trying to decide on what our next steps are with the house. So now we're trying to determine what our next steps are with the house. When we originally bought the house, like I said, it was the neighborhood was considered the hood. It was, in transition. There was an ugly vacant house next door. It was crazy. But what's amazing is that we have been able to own 3 houses on this same street, and we've been able to completely transform the street. I mean, in the beginning, it was just ugly, boarded up houses, and it was just our little house and maybe there's one other house. And so we were able to add on to one house and flip it and give it to a homeowner, flip it and sell it to a homeowner. Another house, this is a crazy story with this house. I have to tell y'all another day, but basically I reached out to the seller monthly for 2 years, y'all. Monthly for 2 years until the title was clear to buy this other house. Fully gutted it, renovated it, and then sold that one to a local teacher. And the beautiful thing is now our property value has appreciated. And now what the neighborhood is doing is they're tearing down houses and they're building these beautiful modern houses. And so there are 2 modern houses built right across the street from ours. And so now we're trying to figure out, do we just do a renovation, a thorough renovation, turn around and rent it, keep it as a rental? Or do we tear it down, build a new house, or, basically add on to the existing house, essentially, and then sell it? And so that's what we're trying to figure out some options are right now, what those numbers are. I've already calculated some numbers so that, because I know what the comps are. I know what it needs to be in order to sell it to really make it profitable for us. And I know what the renovation budget needs to be in order to be able to go about that strategy. So it's just a matter of walking through it with our builder to see if we can actually be able to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish in 2026, tariff prices, etc., within our budget. So that's what we are doing today. So come along with us. So now we're trying to determine what our next steps are with the house. When we originally bought the house, like I said, it was the neighborhood was considered the hood. It was in transition. There was an ugly vacant house next door. It was crazy. But what's amazing is that we have been able to own 3 houses on this same street, and we've been able to completely transform the street. And so we were able to add on to one house, flip it, and sell it to a homeowner. I reached out to the seller monthly for 2 years, y'all. Monthly for 2 years till title was clear to buy this other house. Fully gutted it, renovated it, and then sold that one to a local teacher. And the beautiful thing is now our property value has appreciated. And now what the neighborhood is doing is they're tearing down houses and they're building these beautiful modern houses. And so there are 2 modern houses built right across the street from ours. And so now we're trying to figure out, do we just do a thorough renovation, turn around and rent it, keep it as a rental, or do we tear it down, build a new house, or basically add on to the existing house essentially, and then sell it? And so that's what we're trying to figure out some options are right now, what those numbers are. I've already calculated some numbers so that, because I know what the comps are, I know what it needs to be in order to sell it to really make it profitable for us, and I know what the renovation budget needs to be in order to be able to go about that strategy. So it's just a matter of walking through it with our builder to see if we can actually be able to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish in 2026, tariff prices, etc., within our budget. So that's what we are doing today. So come along with us. I actually brought different shoes. Let me go change my shoes. So we're at this house and I'm about to change my shoes because I wear these shoes I got on all the time, and that house is disgusting. And what I'm not about to do is to get my situation. I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to get all that nasty stuff on my feet. So let's say you are in real estate and you have to go into these nasty houses, bring an extra pair of shoes. Big deal. What you been up to? So the best route for us to be able to, are you an anti-online person?
Yeah, I don't like it too much.
On Facebook?
I'm on there, but I'll be posting stuff.
You be lurking. You one of them lurkers?
Nah, I just, when I'm bored, I pop up on there about
the people who don't post, but they just look at other people's stuff. No, but we ruled out new construction. So basically, you're gonna follow back up and let me know about pricing to go up and see if that is even around about.
right.
That would be the best situation, so we don't have to do the variance and do all that stuff. All right, so we are getting ready to leave. Well, I'm getting ready to leave. Actually, my husband just got back in town, so we just met here directly from the airport. But he's going to walk a property before going back home, and I am going to the office because I have a call here in noon. So here's the conclusion. It sounds like within the budget range that we're at, new construction is absolutely not going to work. So similar to what we did with the other houses, he's going to give us a price for tearing it all the way down, rebuilding the foundation, and then going up to make the property a 2-story instead of a 1-story. And then by making it a 2-story, we will be able to double the value, increase the square footage, not have to go through the new construction guidelines, because essentially when you're doing new construction, have a certain size lot, you have to adhere to the zonings and the building. You can't build on the entire part of the lot. If you want to build on more of the lot, then you have to get what's called a variance, basically permission to build on a larger portion of the lot. And because the house was built in 1920, I get to be grandfathered in if I don't completely do new construction and if I just go up and do an addition. So, make a long story short, he's going to come back with his project manager and give us a more detailed estimate of what the cost would be to be able to go up a story and to basically gut the entire inside, relay out everything, and shore up the foundation. The good thing is, because we bought in an area that has appreciated in value significantly, we have some options. So we have the option of being able to do the addition, turn around and sell it, or just clean it up and sell it as is. But either way, we're not going to keep it. We are ready to sell this property. I just had a thought. I actually just talked to my husband and did a little recap on the situation, asking him what his thoughts were with the contractor. And I would say, when working with contractors, it's important that you not only hear what they say, see how they move, you have to pay attention to cues and clues. You have to pay attention to the things that they're not saying that will give you insight on how to move and how to make decisions. So this particular contractor preferred to do new construction. They built a house for us. We've used them a number of times on other projects. He is in the season of his life. He prefers to just do new construction, more of clean cut type of properties. And he would be assigning someone else to manage the renovation, but it'll be in his name and all this kind of stuff. So one of the things I was talking to my husband is, one of the things that we have to consider and look out for is how proactive the project will be able to move along. I'm really big on having a project schedule, knowing from the beginning, making sure everything is scheduled out, making sure, especially on a project like this, making sure you have concrete estimates from each individual trade. We're not getting estimates as we go. We have people who we have plumbers, we have electricians, we have HVAC people before we start the project that have already came out, measured, looked at the project, given us estimates. All of that is included in the detailed budget, so that we have the budget, we know the vendors we're working with, we have a schedule, we know what the permitting process is, and we're able to move along efficiently. Because one of the things with the other two properties that we've learned that we flipped on that same street is that renovations turned out beautiful. Renovations were done well. Even the sales process was pretty seamless with both properties. Didn't stay on the market long. Marketed very well. The problem with both of those properties that we learned through the process of redeveloping them, renovating them, all the things, is that if you don't have a solid relationship and you're not on the same page with the contractor, and the project does not move along at the pace that it needs to move along, and when the project takes so much longer than you originally anticipated, guess what eats up your profit? Holding costs. Holding costs can easily eat up your profit if the contractor isn't moving quick enough on your project, or if the contractor is not familiar with the permitting process and you're constantly having delays because the permits aren't being passed. All of the above. So we need to be upfront that 6 months is the margin. So that means that the projection really needs to be done in 4 to 4.5 months, and then we're giving ourselves a little wiggle room in case we need to, because generally most of the time renovations are more expensive and they take longer. So we plan for that. We plan for a contingency, to have money set aside for surprises. We plan for more time for the renovation so that we can absorb delays, and we budget for that as well. But what I'm not gonna want to do is budget for a whole half a year worth of additional holding costs that will eat directly into our profits. And so because of that, I'm going to get a second opinion from a different licensed contractor, just to be able to compare and then make a decision and go from there. So I have not had lunch. This is what happens when you don't plan, because I'm not used to being away from home on a normal day. I thought I was gonna have more time, but calling up, I have some good follow-ups from there. But now running to my old office to get my mail, and then running back where I live to get my hair done, because we need some help here. Come along. Can we talk about something real quick? Gray hairs. Y'all see these gray hairs? Gray hairs do not lay down. They do not. They have their own mind, the gray hairs. So I don't know who's watching this, but black women, our hair is very special. This season, I normally wear braids. A lot of my videos, you'll probably see braids or whatever. But I'm trying to give my hair a break. So I trimmed it, cut it. This is probably the healthiest it's ever been. Maybe not right now, but in general. I'm actually going to get my hair done later today. And here's my process. So I get my hair washed, pressed, treated, all that. And it's banging, it's flowing for a good week. Then the next week, I may have to flat iron it a couple more times a week, but I'm able to generally extend it an additional week. And then by the third week, we're at the ponytail. This is where we are, the third week. So when you see me with the ponytail, I'm on my way back to get the hair done. We don't keep the ponytail that long, but the braids is coming back. They're on their way. I probably got one more press in me, and then the braids are coming back. We are back. How many? Let's see. 2 hours today. Normally don't take that long, but I had to get a trim because my hair has grown so much in the last 6 weeks. But we are back, and I am very, very tired. But the beautiful thing is that my hairdresser is 2 minutes from my house, so commute won't be long. A part of being full-time real estate investor, entrepreneur, all the things, is like no 2 days are the same. Some days I am working with clients. Some days I am planning for something else. In the future, I'm conference planning. When I get home, I'm gonna do some podcast planning I'm gonna do a bunch of filming tomorrow on my podcast. I'm gonna work on some conference stuff for my annual event, but no day is the same. Some days we're putting out fires with different things going on with properties, and there are times when we don't hear from people for a whole month. That is kind of the sporadic part of entrepreneurship / real estate. My kids are at an age where they're pretty dependent, even from a homeschool standpoint. We check things off. When they were younger, we did a lot more field trips, and it was a lot more hands-on. But now it is very much just supporting the different initiatives and different things that they're doing, and making sure they're on track and getting ready for the next level, whether that's for them, that's college or trade school, whatever, and going from there. So just seasons change, what you need for that season adjust, and that's how it is. So let me know if I should do more of these vlogs. We're gonna try them out, see how they do. What questions do you have? Let me know below. But thanks for hanging with me today. I'm about to go home and take a nap. That's why I'm about to go home and take a nap and get some real food too, because I've been snacking all day and it's 4:30. So thanks for watching this episode, and I'll link one of my old vlogs down here below. So check that out too, from OG back in the beginning. But I'll see you next time. Bye.